Welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. I am Nolene Ebel Ami. President Bola Tinubu is reassuring Nigerians home and in the diaspora that his government is building a new Nigeria that would meet their expectations. Addressing a cross-section of Nigerians resident in Japan, the president called for the diaspora's contribution to accelerate the expected growth in Nigeria. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
On the margins of the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, President Tinubu opted to feel the pulse of his citizens in Japan and perhaps to elicit their contribution in the Project Nigeria.
Sir, on this historic occasion of your participation in TICAD 9, your presence here marks a profound moment of pride and unity for Nigerians in the diaspora, and we are deeply honored to receive you in the land of the rising sun.
These established individuals in various fields, including academics and entrepreneurs, are aware of the policy reforms and decisions of the current government, which they agree are necessary for growth.
And we've been seeing the reforms you are doing in Nigeria. It is tough to make the right decisions, just like a father tells a child, go and study. We don't want to study, we want to play. But the reforms you have done so far in Nigeria, the things you have put in place are foundations that will catapult Nigeria to the next level in the next generations to come. I'm really grateful for that. And with all that, personally look forward to going home and investing more in Nigeria.
With Nigeria's economy recovering and so widely acknowledged by global bodies, the presidential team also presented the opportunities available for the diasporans to key into.
Several years ago as governor, he was here, and that the things he promised and pioneered are the things upon which Lagos today is developing. That is the kind of future that we're expecting for our country with this president.
Of our nation's oil industry is now developed by local corporates raising money from Nigerians in diaspora, raising money from international financial institutions and contributing actively to the economy.
From the beginning of this administration, we have no product on the shelf. Everything was just prototype. And today we have 40 market-ready products. We're also building a 40-hectare renewable industrial park, an electric vehicle factory, and so many others. So Mr. President's policy has opened up the door, and we've seen diasporas and companies from all over the world coming into Nigeria, making commitments.
The diasporans attest to the gains of the reforms as manifesting with the easier access to and renewal of international passports, and President Tinubu wants them to believe in the possibility of a new Nigeria where things work.
Now, if that nationality document is reflecting the expectation of all of you, so you can be assured Nigeria will meet all your expectations. The changes that we embark upon is all about us as a people and leadership of Africa. Don't take it lightly.
Assuring of economic stability, social interventions and efforts leading to the reversal of medical tourism, he invites Nigerians in the diaspora to come contribute to the growth so desired.
For the economic growth and opportunity that is available in Nigeria, don't stay away. Your contribution is very much in need. If we stay away, who will build it? If we don't join hands and work together, then we've lost the hope of being the leader that we're supposed to be. Your citizenship is in your passport. Your person is your character. And I can give you the assurance we are seeing the beginning of Nigerian rising.
And as the government strives to sustain the leading role of Nigeria in Africa, the president wants the diasporans to continue to project and protect the integrity of the country across the world. From Yokohama, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed Yokohama, Japan on Thursday night to Brazil, where he will begin a state visit on August 24. President Tinubu will have a stopover in Los Angeles before continuing his journey to Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. President Tinubu began his two-nation visit on Friday, August 15, when he departed Abuja. He and his entourage stopped over in Dubai, UAE, and arrived in Yokohama early in the morning on August 18. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga indicates that after attending the opening ceremony and plenary of the 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development TICAD-9 on August 20, President Tinubu held some bilateral meetings, culminating in the interactive session with diaspora Nigerians on Thursday night. In an effort to deepen cultural diplomacy and strengthen bilateral ties, the government of Japan has named the city of Kisarurazu as the hometown for Nigerians willing to live and work in the country to promote economic growth and enhance workforce productivity. Under this new partnership, announced on the sidelines of the 9th Tokyo International Conference for African Development, the Japanese government will create a special visa category for highly skilled, innovative, and talented young Nigerians who want to move to Kisarazu to live and work. Nigeria's Charge d'Affaires, Mrs. Florence Akinyemi Adeshike, and acting ambassador to Japan, Yoshikune Watanabe, and the mayor of Kisarazu received the certificate from the Japanese government, naming Kisarazu the hometown of Nigerians. Kisarazu was the official host town of the Nigerian contingent for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Consequently, the Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced $5.5 billion in new investments in Africa to stimulate economic growth. Talking security now, the National Defense College will be well equipped with adequate facilities to maintain its position as defense postgraduate university to squarely address contemporary security challenges in Nigeria and allied nations. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this at the graduation ceremony of course 33 participants of the National Defense College, Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima at the National Defense College in Abuja to confer fellowship to the 99 participants of course 33 of the college.
I have a singular honor and privilege to present to you our distinguished graduates.
Themed Strengthening Institutions for National Security and Development in Nigeria.
Graduates of course 33, you step out today into a world more volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous than when you began your course last year. Global economic headwinds, the war in Ukraine, the disruptive cost of emerging technologies, the threats in cyberspace, and the unsettling resurgence of unconstitutional changes of government in our region on the backdrop of your service. But you have been prepared for this moment. You have been trained to think and act strategically. You have been equipped to lead with vision and courage. I am confident that you will make your mark in your institution, in your ministries and departments, and in your countries.
The Apex Military Training Institution for the Nigerian Armed Forces and other allied nations also serves as a center of excellence for peace support operations training at strategic levels. The participants received awards on Best Research Projects and top 3 awards in order of merit for the graduates. And these participants, with 23 from 19 countries, are expected to translate the knowledge and experience gained into selfless service to their nations, anchored on integrity, discipline, and patriotism. From the National Defense College, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
In a similar news, 99 senior military officers and 23 from allied nations have graduated from the National Defense College Course 33. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the new fellows of the Nigeria's Apex Military Training Institution are set with more skills to confront state and regional security threats.
With this symbolic ceremony, these 99 officers from Nigeria and allied nations are now fellows of the National Defense College, the Apex Military Training Institution for the Nigerian Armed Forces, and a center of excellence for peace support operations training at the strategic level in West Africa.
This year's exercise tackles some of Nigeria's most complex security challenges, such as banditry in the northwest, separatist activities in the southeast. Through these academic and practical experiences, the participants are equipped with strategic insights and problem-solving skills required to navigate today's volatile global environment.
Established in 1992 for the training of strategic military officers and civilian participants to provide research-based solutions to the ever-changing volatile global security landscape through evaluation of present and past security threats and sharing of ideas among local and international participants. Just like Nigeria, there are different ongoing internal security operations in different parts of the country. So I sought to know what these graduating officers will do differently back home in their various operations.
We have appreciated the idea of having synergy with other institutions because police alone and internal security cannot do it alone.
Comprehensive analysis gives a good result for everything.
Out of the 99 participants, there are 23 officers from 19 allied nations. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And talking economy now, a total sum of 2.001 trillion being July 2025 Federation accounts revenue has been shared to the federal government, states and the local government councils. The revenue was shared at the August 2025 Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC meeting held in Abuja. A communique issued by the Federation Account Allocation Committee FAC indicated that total gross revenue of 3.836.980 trillion was available in the month of July 2025. The statement states that gross statutory revenue of 3.070.127 trillion was received from the month of July 2025. This was lower than the sum of 3.485.235 trillion naira received in the month of June 2025. The communique stated that from the 2.000.828 trillion total distributable revenue, the federal government received total sum of 735.081 billion, and the state governments received total sum of 660.349 billion. And talking in other news, the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, has outlined key challenges and strategic interventions to enhance the growth and development of Nigeria's creative economy and tourism sectors. Gufan Shaji Ugwai reports.
Brainstorming on repositioning our vibrant revenue-generating sectors.
These gathering of departments and agencies under the Ministry of Art, Culture, tourism and the creative economy comes at a pivotal time, especially as the world is changing technologically, economically, and socially. The Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, says the creative economy must be willing and ready to drive innovations, create jobs, and be a viable tool for soft power and cultural diplomacy.
Nigerian youth should not be looking for jobs. We have the jobs in our industry, and we're ready to deliver these jobs. Our creative economy, driven by globally recognized genres like Afrobeat and Highlife, was valued at $39 million.
Strategic repositioning of arts, culture, tourism, and creative economy for national development and global competitiveness speaks to the urgent task before us to transform these sectors into engines of economic diversification.
Various agencies under the ministry signed performance bond committing to strategic repositioning of Nigeria's arts, culture, tourism, and creative economy that is imperative for the nation's future prosperity. In Abuja, Gofan Shaji Ugwani, NTA News.
In other news, members of the Senate Committee on Northwest Development Commission have pledged to complement the efforts of the executive in ensuring the smooth operations of the commission to achieving sustainable development in the region. The chairman, Senator Babangida Hussein, gave the assurance while on oversight to the temporary office of the commission in Kano, currently undergoing renovation. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Inspecting the ongoing renovation of the temporary office of the Northwest Development Commission in Kano, the senators expressed happiness with the level of work done so far. Chairman of the Senate Committee, Babangida Hussein, therefore urged the contractors to ensure its timely completion to enable the commencement of operations towards development of the region. While acknowledging the quality of work being done, the chairman commended the foresight of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in creating the Northwest Development Commission. Managing Director of the Commission, Professor Sheikh Abdullahi Maji, noted that its establishment would help in addressing infrastructural deficits and promote inclusive growth across the Northwest Zone.
We had established some milestones that we expect the commission, the management of the commission, to be able to have met at a certain period of time. And we are happy to see that things are working well, and we are on site to actually follow up on our resolutions.
We have enumerated our challenges, which include the use of accommodation, facilities, funding, and other issues, with the promise to support.
The senators also inspected the land donated by Kano State government for the construction of a permanent headquarters.
Southeast is one zone in the country that is benefiting from the transformative programs and projects of the federal government, irrespective of difference in political parties. Chinyere Okoye reports that this was the testimony in Umuahia at the Southeast milestone under President Bola Tinubu's administration, put together by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation.
The event was to update the people of Southeast in general and Abia State in particular of various transformative programs and policies of the federal government that have been initiated and undergoing implementation to bring good governance down to the people. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the Southeast Zone, known for industry, enterprise, and resilience, there is need for everyone to key into the transformative initiatives aimed at bringing positive development closer to the people, while advocating for more inclusiveness and equitable distribution of national projects.
The Southeast is no longer an afterthought, it's a priority now. In the area of agriculture, the establishment of the cassava biennial project is a bold step toward food security and job creation.
In elect Virtual Zonal Manager, News Agency of Nigeria, Sam Odita, listed the reconstruction of Eastern Rail Line, ongoing revolution in agri sector, students' loan scheme, massive road construction nationwide as some game-changing projects that will drive development and economic growth. Goodwill messages came from guests and representatives of some government agencies, including Renewed Hope Partners.
I use this opportunity also to call on the President to bring back our railway station.
In Umuahia, Chinyerukoye, NTA News.
From Umuahia, we take you to Lagos, where Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has appealed to state governors to work with her in empowering women and youth in the country by adopting and investing in Renewed Hope Initiative programs for broader impacts on Nigerians. She made the appeal during an interactive session with members of the Lagos State Traditional Rulers Council and religious leaders at the State House in Marina. The engagement is a platform to brief the leaders on RHI interventions, measure the impacts in their various domains, and answer their questions, particularly those bordering on their roles in constitutional governance.
They are the ones to take certain of these demands to the National Assembly so that when they are having constitution amendment, we can look into it, but we'll start lobbying for that. So, because we know how legislation is, it takes a long process. But, you know, we hear you and then we'll consider it. Government now is just beginning to break even. You can see that we begin to see the light gradually after subsidy removal. And I believe that God will help us further. So you are in our minds.
The traditional rulers, through the Vice Chairman of the Lagos State Traditional Rulers Council and Ayangburen of Ikorodu, Ogba Kabiru Adewale Shotobi, restated the call for more roles in governance.
Was in Constitution of the Federal Republic, the military decree of 1979 removed them. We hereby demand that the traditional rulers' representations in governance should be reinstated in the Constitution. We request that financial provision should be restored and that the welfare of the traditional rulers should be generally improved.
On the sideline of the interactive session, Lagos State will take delivery of free food items from RHI as the train of its food outreach program hits the state. Still in Lagos State, we shall be joining Hingino John Adams, who is now Lagos studio, to present more news for us from that axis. Hello, Hingino.
And welcome to Lagos. The Senate Committee on Marine Transport has carried out an oversight visit to the Nigerian Shippers Council headquarters in Lagos. The visit focused on reviewing reforms in the maritime sector, assessing the council's project funding and regulatory challenges. Our Yusuf Jibo reports.
The committee reaffirmed the legislature's oversight mandate on government agencies, describing it as key to transparency and accountability. The maritime sector's role in trade and economic growth, as well as reforms under the Renewed Hope agenda aimed at reducing costs and boosting competitiveness, were highlighted.
As a nation blessed with fast coastline and strategic waterways, the efficiencies of our shipping services directly impact our trade, competitiveness, port operations, and revenue generation. It is through robust shipping infrastructure and services that Nigeria connects with the global market, facilitates imports and export trade, and strengthens its position in international commerce.
Clarity on funding models, 2% port development levy, and the proposed 1% freight fee were also discussed. The committee emphasized the need for presidential assent to the Port Economic Regulation Act.
These efforts are geared towards reducing the cost of doing business, enhancing competitiveness, and aligning Nigeria's maritime industries with international best practices.
Executive Secretary of the Council outlined progress in streamlining port processes, regulating tariffs, and preparing Nigeria for the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
We are equally proud to highlight completed projects at the Shippers Towers, which demonstrate prudent resource management and utilization, and our commitment to creating a modern, functional work environment for our staff for enhanced productivity.
The visit allowed both sides to review progress, address gaps, and strengthen collaboration for a more efficient maritime sector. In Lagos, Awol Yusuf Jubo, NTA News.
The Zoning Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has promised to consult widely with members to strengthen the party ahead of the 2027 general elections. Joel Pupola reports that Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, who briefed the media at the end of the meeting, dismissed alleged exclusion of some members and emphasized that the party is still waxing strong.
The meeting geared towards coordinating the affairs of the party ahead of the 2027 elections was convened by the chairman of the National Zoning Committee, Governor Duye Diri. It had in attendance serving and former governors as well as chairman of the Board of Trustees, Senator Adolphus Wabara. The consultative meeting is also part of modalities for all stakeholders within the party to pursue a common goal and put aside personal interests. After the exchange of pleasantries, party members entered a closed-door session. Governor Seyi Makinde addressed journalists on the outcome.
So you have 12 states here. You have in each zone, you have rep members here. You have senators from each zone in the south, the 3 zones. You have BOT members from the 3 zones in the south. So our efforts right now is directed towards having a viral and united PDP that Nigerians will be proud of and again will believe in.
Governor Makinde also spoke on the legality of the gathering.
Even I can disagree with people, but there shouldn't be anything personal here. It should be about what are we giving to Nigerians, because they are watching. If we continue to work hard, if we continue to strive hard, if we continue to bring our people together, we'll get to a point where Nigerians will really start listening to us.
Members of the party were urged to remain steadfast with assurances that there are no cracks in the party. Resolution of the committee, they say, will be made public in due course. In Lagos, Joel Pupola, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues after this break.
Welcome back to Abuja on Nationwide. The body of the late Emir of Zuru, Major General Muhammad Sani Sami, retired, has finally been laid to rest in Zuru, Kebbi State. The Janaiza prayer was held by the Chief Imam of Zuru at its central mosque, while the interment followed immediately. Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa is standing by in Zuru to give us the details. Hello, Abdul Jalil. Can you tell us more on the funeral?
After the Islamic funeral prayer at the Zuru Central Mosque, the body was brought to the residence of the late Emir of Zuru, Major General Muhammad Sani Sami Gomo II, where the army performed their tradition of where the senior officers of the army performed the tradition of the army to pay their last respect to the general and give him a befitting burial. The Chief of Army Staff was represented by the Theater Commander of Operation Pansanyama Northwest, where he, after their normal tradition, he handed over the body to the King's Makers of Zuru Emirate for the proper funeral in accordance with Islamic rights.
All right, thank you very much for the update on the funeral of the late Emir of Zuru, Major General Mohammed Sani Sami. Thank you, Abdul Jalil. Now, the Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, SAN, has condemned the disturbing viral video showing operatives of the Agune Chamber Vigilante Group physically assaulting a youth corps member, Ms. Jennifer Edema Eloho. Reacting to the video, Tony Ojukwu described the incident as a gross violation of human dignity and a clear breach of the provisions of Nigeria's Anti-Torture Act 2017, which expressly prohibits and criminalizes torture, cruel, inhumane and degrading treatment or punishment under any circumstance. He further pleaded with Inspector General of Police and Anambra State government to provide protection for the youth corps member and encourage Ms. Eloho to present herself to facilitate prosecution of the case by the police. Muslim women from across the country under the umbrella body of Form 1 have converged in Kaduna to discuss how faith-based organizations can drive awareness as well as action on the global crisis of climate change to embark on grassroots advocacy and sensitization. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
Mujidat Abdul Karim, all the way from the United Kingdom, is here in Nigeria to attend the 40th anniversary and national conference of Form 1, the Federation of Muslim Women's Association in Nigeria.
We are here in our global sisterhood to show our solidarity to the Form 1 mother body.
Many Muslim women from across the globe and from different regions and ethnic backgrounds within Nigeria have gathered here to deliberate on the continued propagation of Islam and to discuss pressing global issues such as climate change.
The Quran addresses the issue of the climate from its beginning to its end.
Climate change is a defining challenge of our age, but within every challenge lies an opportunity. By empowering women, strengthening resilience, and building sustainable communities.
Speakers at the event, including the representative of the Vice President and the First Lady, commended Form 1 for its consistent promotion of Islamic moral values.
The Quran calls for unity, cooperation and mutual support. The Federation for Women Association in Nigeria stand as a beacon of these Islamic principles.
Form 1 seeks to address social equity and climate change action by enabling Muslim women to lead and contribute to building resilient and sustainable communities.
Creating transformative change throughout Nigeria.
For 40 years, Form 1 has been actively empowering women and propagating Islamic teachings not just in Nigeria, but globally through members in Kaduna. I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi.
All right. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has approved the appointment of Director General and other members of the management team for the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. A statement from Shegun Imohiosun, Director Information and Public Relations in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, gives the details of the new appointees as follows. Director General Rotimi Pedro, Southwest. Executive Director Marketing, Karima Bello, Northwest. Executive Director News, Stella Dean Jacob, North Central. Managing Director, NTA Enterprises Limited, Sophia Issa Ahmed, Northeast. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tasked the new appointees to work as a team in repositioning and revitalizing the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, by infusing innovations into the agency for effective service delivery. We now take you to our Sakwato studio where Sadia Umar Digi is standing by with more news on Nationwide. Hello, Sadia. Over to you.
Nolin, and thanks for joining us. The Sokoto State government has emphasized the importance of digitalization in counseling as a timely step towards addressing contemporary challenges. Deputy Governor Idris Muhammad Gobir made the remarks at the International Conference of Counseling Association of Nigeria in Sokoto. Abdullahi Umar Ilal reports.
Digitalization in counseling is the use of digital technologies to support and enhance the counseling process, which however requires careful consideration of the benefits and challenges involved. The Deputy Governor Muhammad Idris Gobir, representing the Governor of Sokoto State, emphasized that embracing digitalization in counseling is both timely and essential. He urged participants to maximize the knowledge and skills gained from the 5 days conference for the benefit of society.
Sokoto State Government will support initiative aimed at establishing counseling centers in our schools and communities.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saada Abubakar, described counseling as a vital tool in tackling Nigeria's social and educational challenges, and called on the Counseling Association of Nigeria to share practical recommendations with government for possible implementation.
And I think that's very important for us as a great nation. We must always go around our brothers and sisters, be with them, see them, feel them, listen to them, and see how we can make them much better than we are making them.
This conference is not just an opportunity to discuss professional issues and matters, but it is an avenue to discuss and celebrate Carson collective commitment and dedication towards improving the well-being and mental health of individuals and groups in our nation and the world.
The 49th International Conference of the Counseling Association of Nigeria ended in Sokoto with the theme Digitalization and Counseling in the 21st Century. From Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
Major roads linking towns, villages, and neighboring countries in Kebbi State have been washed away by the recent rains across the state. The Kebbi State government has dispatched a high-powered committee to assess the damages, calling on federal government's quick intervention. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa has the situation report.
Kebbi State is neighboring Niger and Benin republics, exchanging goods and services for the benefit of all. Recently, rains experienced in the state left many roads linking the state with the two countries and some parts of Nigeria severely affected. Roads such as Makera Kangiwa, Bonzaku Kanatsini, Kengakwai Fana Dakin Gari to Benin Republic are completely inaccessible.
From Kambo to Dakin Gari, one has to go around through Bunza, a journey of just 1 hour. One must spend at least 5 or more hours.
My car is the container. I'm waiting for there, and the river come and follow me out the river.
While the state government committee inspected the affected areas, they described the damage as beyond the capacity of the Kebbi state government.
It's the apparent need, urgency in the need for the federal government to intervene very, very quickly. Otherwise, we run the risk of cutting Kebbi off completely.
Trucks heading to other parts of the country from Togo and Benin were almost completely submerged in the affected areas. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Ba, NTA News.
And those are the news reports from Sokoto. Is now back to Nolin in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Sadia. And we shall now take our second commercials. Thank you for staying with us on Nationwide. We shall now take you to our Benin Network Center, where Udwakobong Achibong is standing by with more reports. Hello, Udwakobong.
Welcome to Benin. Progress made so far by President Bola Tinubu's administration in actualization of the Renewed Hope agenda has been evaluated by the Federal Ministry of Information and the National Orientation Agency. The appraisal of his midterm scorecard is to aid citizens key into other governmental packages. Onye Joseph Ifeanyi has that report.
In the 2 years of this administration, President Bola Tinubu has succeeded in empowering over 900,000 beneficiaries with presidential loan and grant scheme. over 300,000 with students' loan, cleared foreign debts, 440 ongoing road projects, among many other achievements. For this progress recorded so far, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation Agency thought it wise to sensitize Nigerians on many more to come.
Nigerians are encouraged to be more hopeful that having done this in the first half of the administration, it is very obvious that government will continue in that same spirit. So see that in the next 4 years, then the story will obviously and noticeably be in the positive direction.
John Onovroke, former state coordinator, Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Delta State, said one of the president's administrative core mandates to ensure food security through agricultural sustenance has been achieved through increased mechanized farming and loans to farmers.
The government carry out certain programs, and such as what we call the agro pocket scheme, where federal government paid 70% of total input and farmers just have to pay 25%. And that one again has also increased productivity, farm productivity all over. And we could also see that generally more people, of course it's expected more people, as a result of the hardship that ran away from the farms, we also have to find a way back to farm.
Sajo Asem said the president is proving critics wrong as he steers the ship to calm waters. Earlier, the agency, in a rally, invited citizens to be part of the town hall meeting to enable them key into the programs. Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi, NTA News.
Edo State government has sealed multiple properties linked to suspected cult leaders following the discovery of a shrine in Igman community and a violent confrontation in Ivoire that claimed a life. This was during a coordinated operation codenamed Operation Flush Out Cultists and Kidnappers, led by the squad's coordinator Idemudua Noah in collaboration with security agencies. Goodluck Enaini tells us more.
Acting on intelligence report, the operatives stormed a residence in Egbai and uncovered a secluded shrine in an uncompleted building at the rear of the premises. Inside the building, the operatives found a white casket and fetish items believed to have been used for initiation rituals and other clandestine activities.
Getting there, we saw the shrine where he perpetuates his evil art. And at the end of the day, his house was sealed too.
Similarly, at Eboyare community in Ohode local government area, operatives discovered that there was a bloody clash between rival confraternities, the Aye and Maphites, allegedly leading to the death of one person identified as Festus. The death was alleged to have been masterminded by Maphites leader, one Felix Agbedion, now declared wanted.
We left the door, but only left our symbol so as to, and dropped an invitation letter right there so that the Felix will produce himself to the police.
Eboyare community was deserted at the time the operatives arrived. Homes, vehicles, and personal property all bore marks of destruction. Expended cartridges littered the ground, evidence of possible crossfire that may have terrorized residents, forcing families to flee. 2 locally made firearms were also recovered from a poultry house, which investigations identified as a makeshift armory for cultists. Investigations also revealed evidence of extortion during initiation processes, including the forced transfer of money from victims to cultists. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Norlin in Abuja for more.
Thank you very much, Udwakabong Achibong. Now, as the world grows more interconnected, the boundaries between languages keep blurring out, giving rise to the habit of speakers alternating between languages while speaking. Judging by its widespread acceptance, the concepts of code mixing and code switching raise the concerns of native languages losing their pride in place. Grace Ayaliki, in this package, examines the extent to which code mixing and switching affects language proficiency.
In a country like Nigeria,
where many people speak English and their native languages. The phenomenon of code mixing and code switching has become a dominant feature of communication. This is also true for bilingual Yoruba speakers, whose daily conversation is a blend of English and Yoruba. The prevalence of this linguistic trend makes one wonder how long conversations are held without code mixing.
If I'm in a classroom setting, definitely stick to English language. But if it is a bit informal, or probably I'm very high on emotions, then I automatically just code mix or switch to a proper language to show my emotional state.
Code switching or code mixing does not determine whether someone is educated or not. Even university professors could switch, and this depends on the environment where they are.
When you have informal situations, these languages compete for recognition. So if you want to belong, you use the language other people use. Code switching or code mixing does not have to do with any deficiency at all. It's a normal thing in bilingual societies.
Code mixing is not a glitch. It is a global language of its own, written not in grammar books, but in everyday lives. In Ibadan, Grace Ayonleke, NTA News.
And Grace is standing by in Ibadan to let us into this hype about code switching, or do I call it code mixing? Hello, Grace. How long can you speak Yoruba without a blend of English?
Nolin, language is the identity of any culture, as the culture can only be transmitted through it. You know, in my days as an undergraduate, I did an academic research where I studied the attitudes to language, language variations, and language choices among selected undergraduates of the Obafemi Awolowo University. And this study revealed to me that these students, they think in their first language, which is their mother tongue. And this is most time the Yoruba language. And this makes them experience this language interference. And that is the basis of code switching and code mixing. But in recent times, it has been observed that many Yoruba speakers struggle to communicate fluently in Yoruba language without mixing any other languages with it. However, some school of thought also argue that the reason why this can be prominent is because certain expressions may not be available in either Yoruba or in English language, which makes Yoruba English bilinguals to code switch or code mix, as the case may be, intrasentential mixing and intersentential mixing. Although code mixing, as I said in my report, is not bad, but the rising trend, the growing trend of it, when people can't speak without mixing other languages, mixing English with Yoruba, mixing Igbo with English, is gradually making us lose our cultural identity. Because, like I said earlier,
Yes, Grace, very well spoken. Thank you so much for speaking to us on code switching and code mixing. Of course, he didn't answer my question whether you speak Yoruba and, of course, put in English, interject with English. That's a story for another day. All right, moving on nationwide, stakeholders in the water sector seek for robust action to enhance Nigeria's water quality and sustainable management. Usman Zubairu reports that these were part of discussions that dominated the 2025 International Water Quality Conference with the theme, Beyond Access to Quality Matters, Innovative Community-Based Approaches to Waterborne Disease Eradication.
Available statistics has shown that in Africa, 400 million people do not have access to potable water, and over 800 million people are deprived of safe sanitation facilities. With the continental population expected to exceed 2.5 billion by 2050, the challenges of effective water resources management are more pressing than ever. Although Nigeria is not considered one of the regions that will experience water crisis, access to quality water is a serious challenge in rural areas. This annual Water Quality Conference is a landmark event to harness the perspective of stakeholders for an improved water quality management.
Money in health, in waterborne diseases. And I'm thinking maybe if we engage our communities and address these waterborne diseases, we would have saved money from there and used that money for infrastructure development, for example.
The convener emphasized that the conference will serve as a strategic platform to address water quality challenges and reinforce the nation's commitment to ensuring access to potable water in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu.
The statistics find that 70 to 80% of all diseases that are prevalent here are said to be waterborne or water-related or water-associated. So even when we have access to water, what it means is that the quality of the water is not guaranteed. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that high percentage.
It is believed that improved water and sanitation facilities will help in the fight against waterborne diseases and enhance the livelihood of the people. In Abuja, Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
And that report from Usman Zubairu concludes Nationwide today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nolin Ebel Ame.